Right, get myself comfy for a minute. It's that time of the day to talk about things we like to talk about, which is some blades. And I can't really talk too much, I can only just show you what it is. This one is a Herbertz blade machete. I purchased this in a village in Verdun, France, and at that time it just looked a decent blade. It's quite well weighted, shaped. I'll go into the sheath later. A nice safe bit so your hand doesn't run up the blade, so that's quite good. Nice grip. I've only got small hands and it fits me really quite nice. Drops. Got some holes here. You can use these for many different type of things really, with wire and stuff. I'm not going to go into that at all, but the blade is really quite nice. I've had this now for what must be 7 years. Purchased it and I was quite surprised I got through customs with it really. Shouldn't be saying that, but you know, I did. But hey, you know, it's a nice blade and I'm going to get some wood in a bit and try it out. So that's the Herbertz. It's ISIS of all things, 420 C Jules Herbert. I did look online and they do make quite a few knives, and you guys might have more information about it, so please put it in the comments after this video. That'll be useful for me. The sheath, very similar to Lofty Wiseman's machete, and I think it resembles that quite a bit. And I have a friend turning up who works closely with Lofty today hopefully, and I'll have a chat with him about it and he can compare it because he helped design the latest model. With this, the sheath, it's quite robust, but I wouldn't trust the stitching. So the design is that you do have these buttons here, and you're not meant to hold it like this, because if you pull that out, the blade could cut through this cotton very easily and obviously give you some nasty damage. So the aim is to click it like this and retrieve the knife out this way. So that's it for now. I'm just going to show you what's in my other magic box. How are you getting on? Yeah, you're doing alright there, Chuck? This is the next generation. We should all encourage it. So this one here, if you'd seen my photo, you'll know what it is. But this was a present from an officer friend of mine, who's an officer with the Gurkhas, and got me this nice Kukri. I haven't yet used it. It was made, he got one of his guys to make it up in Pokhara for me as a gift and a present. I did a lot of work with him and I'm super proud of him for doing the achievements he's done so far. So I was over the moon when he brought this back, along with some prayer flags as well. But as you can see, this isn't shiny, it isn't polished up as a demonstration. It's made as they make them to be used. And it's just oil on there, a bit of oil to stop it rusting, and that's the way it come. In here it's solid skin and 2 blocks of wood inside, and the same principle really works with these. You should hold it inside because this over time could wear where the blade's coming in and out, so you should retrieve it out that way as well. With this, you can see the design, lots of you have. This is a lot heavier, a lot heavier. full tang all the way through can be belted quite a lot, and again I'll be doing that. Again, I would say you guys give me some comments. What do you think these markings are? I'll be very, very interested for you guys to tell me what that is. I do know what it is, and the one thing it isn't is to let the blood drip off before it reaches your hands. That's not really, it could be seen, and it would possibly do that if it was used in action, but that's not really what it is. It symbols something, so I'll leave you to put that in the comments as well. So very nice, rough and ready, made out of Mercedes leaf springs, the metal that they get over there, and it's really quite tidy. You've got these inlays, like copper brass inlays. I possibly will polish that section up at one time, but I'm going to go and find some wood and I'll come back to you and we'll see how it hacks through that. Oh, before I do, let's put that there a second. Obviously, if you know about these, they do come with two smaller knives. These are again a rough cut put together, but you can sharpen that up. It's not, well, it would cut, but it's mostly for skinning animals that they capture to eat. And the other one is used, bear with me, you can use it very good because it's a square 90-degree angle on here for your strikers. So that's handy, as you guys all know. So good. I'll put this away. Once it's in, you click it forward so it locks it in place. So catch us a minute, I'll go and find some wood. So, you ready, matey?
Yeah.
So I'm going to give these a test. I'm going to cut these two down, and I'm doing this just so you know that with the landowner's permission. These two are fighting to get the sunlight, and he's clearing out this woodlands. As you can see, there's quite a work being done. So he's given me permission to cut these two down, and we will utilise this wood for some of the stuff we're doing there. So I'm going to start with the Herbertz. See how that goes. Can I give you that, mate? And I'll tidy it up with the saw we cut after, so I don't know what kind of thing this is going to be like. So not bad at all. Does seem a little bit light, but actually not bad. You could certainly do some work with it. I'll place that there. So got this other one. So it locks into place that way, pulls out this way. Watch those blades don't fall out, right? This feels heavier and sturdier. Doesn't necessarily mean it's going to cut better. Alright. Considerably thicker blade on this. That timber was slightly about the same, well, the same plus half again. Didn't feel like it cut as easy, but like I say, the other one's thinner and sliced through a little bit. So there's a lot to be said for the weight. It can work for you, it can work against you, depending on what job you're doing. So I'll have to do some more chests. But on the whole, a really nice piece of kit, but equal as that. It's too early to say whether I'd choose one over the other. So we'll see how we go with that. Cheers, mate. Just so you can see, cut all the stems off now. Tidied that all up. And hopefully you'll be happy. Happy days. Oh.
YouTube. How are you doing?
So guys, I'd like to introduce Ammo, my guy here. As I was saying earlier in my video, saying about he works closely with Lofty Wiseman, working for Trueways Adventure, and you're developing a knife similar to this. This is why I was thinking, or Lofty gave you one, didn't he, similar to this?
Yes, Lofty gave me a variation of his knife.
Yeah.
We've been working on a couple of variations, but I like a large knife.
Yeah.
I do like a large knife. There's much more things you can do with it. The things I like about this knife is it's a machete. So a machete's designated purpose is to clear an area, to remove of vines. Things half the size of your wrist and no thicker than your wrist, and to remove vines, that's what this area be. But also you can do some carving.
Some small intricate stuff really.
You can, especially you have this trail area here where you can choke up on. That means you can get some good control behind it. So you can do carving. It can be used as chopping, splitting. Because it's so thin, which will make it more ergonomical, more proficient to go through a fine, that could be binding up as a splitter. So it won't split as good as an axe, it won't split as good as, say, as anything that's thicker, with a thicker spine. So it won't split as good as the Martindale British Army Gola machete, But what we'll do is it'll cut much more efficiently. And the reason for that is this big belly here. So a curved blade cuts much easier, it's much more proficient cutter and slicer than a straight edge. So that will be really, really good at getting through an area. You can use it to dig a hole.
With sturdy enough.
You can use it to dig a hole. You can use it to chop. You can use it to carve. What's nice with these knives is, I don't know why it's got so many holes, whether that's a measurement tool, but just one hole I'm a big fan of. And if you have 2 of these knives and you put a pin through, you can use them as shears.
That's cool.
On the knife I'm designing myself, it has some holes in the handle, and that means I'll be able to tie a branch between the top and the bottom and be able to get nuts, berries, etc. Just extend the use of the blade. Also, if you do pin it through, you can make a shear. So this one's about 4mm thick, so if you pin this to a piece of wood, you'll be able to make 2-meter cord. Pretty easy, or you can just pin it down. If you did know what the measurements, the distance of the space between these gaps, you could use a measuring tool. A lot of people who do tracking do use that facility. I've never personally found a reason to use that feature in a knife. But I think it's a really good knife. One thing I do like about it is if traditional machetes and kukris often have a rat tail tang. And that's a piece of wood, and it's a thin piece of metal that it's like a rat's tail that just is stuck onto a piece of wood.
I guess.
But it's often where people then fly off the handle. Terminology flying off the handle, it comes from the head of an axe or the head of a blade flying off the handle, and it's a dangerous situation. So this has been eliminated with this design of being full tang. And what you can see, you've got one solid piece of metal with the handle bolted to it. That's probably the best, most secure design for a knife. And for me, a survival knife should certainly be made like that. In this country, these knives are not very fashionable, but they absolutely do work. They absolutely do work.
I got this in France, in Verdun, years ago. I bought it, must be 5-6 years ago, if not more, can't remember 100%. And I saw it in a shop there and I just bought it. I thought that could come in handy one day. And now it is.
Well, the closest thing native to would be a bill hook.
Right.
You imagine a bill hook with the, if this handle was here straight and it just curved up a bit. It's basically like a modified bill hook, and that's the quintessential British tool. It's what we've used so long, and there really is a place for these tools. Not very fashionable in this country, but absolutely one of the most. I think a large blade's the most versatile wilderness tool you can have. I really do. Not very fashionable and not what you want to be walking around the woods with, but if you've got your own permission, then absolutely I take one with me every time. I do.
Yeah, that's good. Well, so I did a little comparison, and like you say, that, and I knew that in my own mind, it's thinner, it cut in a lot sort of easier, where the Kukri
binds up.
It's hard, it's thicker, it's trying to wedge in anything, so it's pretty obvious it was going to do that.
Immediately
you could
behind,
feel it.
Immediately behind the edge, it'll just bind up into the wood.
Yeah.
Both of these tools though, I'll go back to the Martindale British Army machete, which is straight. So because it's straight, only a very small portion of the blade is in contact with whatever you're hitting, because it's so straight, and your hands are at risk of striking the ground or striking the tree. When the blade's dropped away, you're able to sink it into whatever you're hitting, and your hands are out of the way. So that's a really important feature. Also, it's good for whipping it in. The reason the parang and the kukri is so successful. Also, you will hear people say, I've got my parang for £5 and you get them over there for £5. But you need to understand the social economic conditions of the countries that you're on about and the quality control. So over there, the average in the third world, I'm on about, or the developed world, the average person's on $2 a day, $2-3 a day. So when they go out and spend £5 on a machete, that's 3 days worth of wages. You understand it? It's not £5 as I'd see it in the Western world. It's a couple of days' wages to them, and so they spend a couple of days' wages on their tool. So I'd have no problem doing that myself. This is a quality
as we
tool.
do. We think we pay a lot, for something that you really want and want to use. So it's worth it.
Nice handle.
But good. I just thought I'd ask. I knew it was similar, to one you've got, and I knew the case was very similar
It is very good.
Very,
sheath.
very similar, isn't it? You know what I mean?
I do believe if you use any tool for long enough, you'll become proficient in its use. So
Yeah.
for tens of thousands of years, we got by with a piece of flint.
Yeah.
And you see someone in the northern boreal forest will be an absolute wizard with an axe.
Yeah.
Whereas you go to Southeast Asia, they can cut the grass. In South America, they can cut the grass with a machete. In Southeast Asia,
It's like
magicians.
time served, isn't it? And that kind of
Absolutely, yeah.
thing, like.
Just get used to it too.
Thank you very much for that, my mate. I'm
You're
sure
welcome.
the
Always
guys
a pleasure,
back
John.
home will
Pleasure.
like that, so appreciate
I
it.
always enjoy speaking to you about
I know,
tools,
mate, I
Trent.
do. I love meeting you.
I'll see you.